كم ألف؟
ألف باء تاء ثاء
جيم حاء خاء دال ذال. Now, okay, I know we are kind of quite going fast. I'm jumping, not really jumping, but we've introduced those. We've introduced vowels, and these vowels give movement to a letter. So you have this consonant b, you add fatha, meaning the a sound, you get ba, right? You have b sound from the ba, you want to move the ba, you add the kasra, it will give you b. Make sense? Now, the idea is, the last thing before I want to look at the practical examples of how we're going to implement this, inshallah, is how do you sustain that? How do you elongate ba? So if you have a fatha, to make the a sound longer, we add alif, and will give us ba. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay? So the moment I see any letter with a fatha and it's got alif afterwards, it would be elongated. The ba sound will become ba. It will not be ba, it will be ba. Right? Okay. Now, if I have the b sound, how do we recognize this? I add ya. So if you have a ya that doesn't, of course, carry a vowel, ya sakina, it would be b. Right. But remember I said if there's nothing on the letter, then it means there's a sukoon on the letter. And how do we elongate the boo sound? If I have boo, what do I add? A wow with sukoon, I will get boo. Now generally we don't write in the sukoons, but for now I'll put it there so we get the idea. Okay, that's elongation. Then we spoke about formation of sound. We said in nature, sound can be created in three ways. Either through collisions of particles or explosions or breakings of strong bonds between particles, like when we tear paper. And then we gave one other example. That was the breaking of the bonds. And the last one was the V. Vibrations. Those are three ways we can sustain sound. Now all of the others, instead of moving in one place, they actually move. So we break away, we add, etc. We have ba, bu, bi, a, ba, ta, tha. What happens initially? The place of origin is together, correct? And what happens? It breaks away. Ba, ta, tha, ja. The place of origin is fixed. Make sense? Okay. Then when we said to stop on a letter, make it sakin. Ab, at, ath, af, akh. Wherever the letter comes from, it's going to close at that point. So the formation of letters with sukoon, how that letter would be created and formed, is when there's a collision, and the way we would find the letters that become mutaharrika, ba, bi, bu, ta, ta, tha, sha. Okay? That is when there is, what was it? The breaking, explosion. Okay? Now, the third case, which was not spoken about last week, are these. There's no formation. B. The formation is there. Now I want to sustain the sound. E, U, is there any opening and closing on that, on the A part, the second piece? No. Okay? There's no collision, no explosion. But there is some way that is sustained through E, U, where? What's happening? What do you feel?
Vibration.
You feel vibrations, and that's the third way we create the letters. Okay? So letters that are elongated, vibrations. Second letters, collision. Mutaharrik letters, breaking apart or explosions. Right. Okay. Okay, we still have some time left. Those are the three basic concepts we want to remember. The place of origin needs to... Now this vibration that occurs only occurs in the mouth. It's just like all over any area in the mouth that is filled with air, that's where your vibration is occurring. Does it make sense? Okay, we're going to have a little bit more detailed look at this later on, inshallah. So now that we have the basic names and we have a basic idea of how these letters sound, like dal gives you a d sound, and when we add one of these it will either become da or d or do. Okay? Now, right, that's fine. I want to go a little bit forward and mention just one other letter that's required for this lesson is al-ain. Yeah, that's fine. We can talk about al-ain. The ain comes from a place which is in the middle of the throat. Yes, the middle of the throat. So if someone is choking you, just round about at that point. Can we try and say Right, it's not from the lower part, which is and the second part is Okay, just about that point, if someone were to choke you and that sound that comes out, that is practically the point where the ain comes from. Okay, on the diagram, here you can see the hamza and the ha. If I were to say ha, he, hu, comes from there. If I speak about this, a, I, u, same place. Then in the middle we have ha, and we have pull it in, push it out, you get ha, pull it in, you get ain, I, u. Does it make sense? U, a'udhu. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, now that's what I want to focus on. If you page a little bit forward in the first set of the notes, we are going to be talking about the isti'adha. Yeah. Not in this section, in the stapled set with the alphabet on. I think the lesson immediately after that is this diagram, hamza ha, ain ha, ghain kha, etc. And then we have al-isti'adha. Two of the famous ways of saying al-isti'adha. In the previous lesson we also mentioned that there are many ways. We can say a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect you from ash-shaytan and his deviance. Now I'm going to work. Everybody remembers this, right? Is it fine? Okay, I'll leave it there in the meantime. Okay, let's start with alif. The first letter you see in al-isti'adha, can everybody see this? Can everybody see this? It's all fine? Okay, the first letter we see in al-isti'adha is alif. Okay, this is my work here. The first letter that we see in al-isti'adha is alif. Okay, this alif, I said the only purpose of alif is to elongate. The moment we see al-alif with any vowel, it is no longer alif, it is hamza. Okay, every week we'll add on a little bit to this. It becomes a hamza. Even though in some prints of the Qur'an you won't see the hamza, but you must know that the hamza is there. Make sense? So it is hamza. So let's put the hamza there. Now the sound that hamza gives is the sound that we perceive alif to usually give. So a, I, u comes from hamza. So the hamza with the fatha, what sound does it make? A. Say a. What's the formation of the mouth over here? Open, rounded, or lowered jaw? Fatha. Quickly. Open. A, ba, ta, fa. It must be open. So here we find the formation is open because it has a fatha. Then we find the letter here is ain. From this letter, when it joins, it starts like that, and in the middle there's a little bit of a variation which looks like that. So we have the ain with dhamma. What's the formation? It is rounded. So you must see a complete circle of the lips, and also it should be noted that it comes from the middle of the throat. So you have the ain, I, o, and it should be rounded. So let's everybody say o. Right, it shouldn't be thick, but it should be o. Say o, not o. Say o. Okay, is that fine? I can't hear. Can I just have everybody say it, please? O. Together. 1, 2, 3. O. So the first part was a. Say a. Right, based like a, I, u, abakum. Right, like up, similar. Up is a little bit too high. Say right, like normal right? I. So the first one here is just say it again. I want to try and demonstrate also the difference in articulation points between these two letters. That's This is ah. This is ah. This is ah. If you put your hand there, you can actually feel where it's coming from. Make sense? Okay. Ah. Oh. Right. So the moment, back to the previous thing, we said if we see a dhamma and we add wow, it's going to give us an elongated sound of the u, which will now become ooh. What will it become? Ooh. Say ooh. So if you have a b sound with u and the wow, then it will become boo. We get it? What does it become? Boo. Okay, it becomes boo. Right. So that is the idea. So the moment, there's one important thing I also want to stress on these mad letters, the alif, the ya and the waw. Mad means lengthening. Okay? What does mad mean? Lengthening. Mad means lengthening. So there is this alif, the ya, this is in the case of kasra, this is fatha, and this is waw in case of dhamma. These letters do not have a formation because they are not original letters. They're an elongation of another letter. So we elongate also the position. Does that make sense? The position of bu is what? Closed, round, or open. So it's not closed. It's round, open, or lowered jaw. So bu, round, lowered jaw, or open? Round. Okay, we all agree on round? It should be round. If I wish to elongate bu, to make it boo,